in her best interest to be someone who should testify.
So that was the committee chair with Chris Wallace on Fox News Sunday and whether or not Lois Lerner will testify on Wednesday. He said she'll be there. But after Issa left television yesterday, her lawyer came out and said he doesn't know what Issa's talking about. And then we heard, actually, yes, she will, but there might be some conditions. So what is going on? You tell Congressman Jason Chaffetz on the Oversight Committee. He's back home in Salt Lake City. And, sir, good morning to you, and welcome back here to America's Newsroom. I'm confused. Yeah. What's going to happen?
Well, look, she is going to testify at some point. I can't believe there's even a negotiation. When you issue a subpoena in the United States of America, it's not negotiable. It's not something that I'm sure she wants to do. But when you issue a subpoena in the United States, you adhere to it and you show up. And so I have seen some of the dialogue. There has been some back and forth. What I've heard most recently within the last couple hours here is that she may be asking for a delay. It's been about 9 months, but she may want another 1-week delay.
Well, this is what her attorney said. As of now, she intends to continue to assert her First Amendment rights. I do not know why Issa said what he did. Clear it up, can you?
Well, I mean, I've read some of the email traffic. That I think I don't believe that's correct. I think Chairman Issa is spot on this. Look, as Trey Gowdy and Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows and a whole bunch of other people have indicated, she knows a lot about this case. We have issued a subpoena. We have voted on this. This is not an optional activity. We're not giving her immunity. She's going to come testify before Congress.
Okay, then it appears that this is a public negotiation. Or perhaps not so public, perhaps private until yesterday. But is there a possibility, or even a strong possibility now, that Lois Lerner will push for a 1-week extension?
We have this scheduled for Wednesday morning at 9:30 in the morning. It does look like, going to maybe ask for and request a 1-week delay. I'm hesitant to give her any delay, but you know, 1 week, okay, 1 week. But we've got to make this happen, and sooner rather than later.
You want to know what she knew, and you want to know what other people knew. Does Lois Lerner have all those answers?
She has a lot of them. She was really the intersection of this. She's the reason we first knew about this when she tried to leak it out and put it behind her. Remember, it was President Obama who went to the East Room and declared what an outrage this was, and they were going to get to the bottom of this. And the Department of Justice started a criminal investigation. Congress started looking into this. It was only then later that President Obama came back and said, well, there's not even a smidgen of this idea that there's going to be some corruption. That came from Bill O'Reilly in his interview before the Super Bowl. But obviously, there is a lot that went wrong here. She knows how that started. I think she knows who got the information, who was involved in those discussions, where it went up and down the food chain. Yeah, we want to hear from Lois Lerner. She's at the intersection of all this.
This is what Darrell Issa told Chris Wallace, and I'm quoting now, "The evidence that we've gathered causes her in her best interest to be summoned to testify." The evidence that we have gathered. Yeah. Characterize that evidence. How strong is it?
Well,
and would you say it is, for lack of a better phrase, from a different story at a different time, a slam dunk?
Look, the silver lining for this 9 months of delay is that it has allowed our investigators to get there into that Cincinnati office where they said all the problems were, talk to a host of people, gather additional information. So our questions are going to be much more in-depth and much more succinct and with a lot of evidence to back it up than it was 9 months ago. So if Lois Lerner thinks she did herself any favors by waiting 9 months, we are a much better prepared committee, and you're going to have members of Congress with much more probing answers when we get this. This week, next week, it's going to happen.
It's Monday. We'll see what happens on Wednesday then. Jason Chaffetz, thank you for your time.
Thanks,
Live
Bill.
from Salt Lake City today. Appreciate it. Martha?
Well, as Russia invades Ukraine, the Secretary of State heads to Kiev. But is this too little, and is it coming too